Everybody, we are in the Upper Peninsula today.
Yay!
And that's in Michigan. And we are probably as far north as we're going to get on this trip.
Yeah. We're heading into Mackinaw Island.
Actually, it's called Mackinaw. The French way of saying things is Mackinaw, but it's spelled Mackinac.
So they do it both ways, the American way and the French way. So forever I was thinking it was two different cities. Same city, same island. Mackinaw is how you pronounce it though.
Yeah, but you're going to love it. We've got some great footage of this. And what's very interesting, there's no cars allowed on this island.
I love it.
So just bikes and horses apparently.
Yeah. They haven't caught on to Charleston's way of putting the poop bag on the bottom of the horse, literally the bottom of the horse. So you really, it is not as clean as Charleston.
Yeah, you have to watch where you walk, in other words.
Come with us.
I had to go in. This place was calling me, and it didn't disappoint.
This young man was so determined to hand feed the pigeon.
Nona Lisa's Italian restaurant had really interesting decor.
Finally, we had nice weather and caught the ferry for Mackinaw Island. It's only about a 30-minute ride, and we love being on the water.
I had read about Kingston Kitchen and was anxious to go. You know, Jamaicans fly in to work the summer all over Michigan, and the food was Welcome to Mackinaw Island. We're in Kingston Kitchen, and it's a Jamaican restaurant on the island, and I'm going to have calypso pork. Look at that! Wow.
It was the Lilac Festival. We were so glad our timing worked out. When I asked what festivities were planned, I was told that all the shops had something to do with lilacs available for purchase. So we've come to realize that in the northern eastern states like Maine and Vermont, New Hampshire, Michigan, Upper Peninsula especially, they have a very short period where they can make tourist dollars. So prices are really high when it's comfortable to come in, but the rest of the time they're under snow. So you've got to give people the right to make a living, right?
Yeah, and it's still worth seeing. It's quite remarkable. But coming from the west coast that we do, we're used to seeing things much newer. And so it's striking how old this, and it's very historical. To say there are bikes on the island is a massive understatement. There are thousands.
It was heartwarming to see all the families that had come together for vacation.
After wandering through the stores on Main Street, we opted for a horse carriage ride.
We went to see the Grand Hotel. Did you know that they filmed somewhere in time here?
It was a big hotel that we saw on the ferry ride. At Arch Rock, we were able to get out and stretch our legs for a while.
We saw the governor's vacation home.
It was a slow ride to the top of the hill, and they gave us the option to get out and walk back, and so we took it.
The views were spectacular. I love how this gentleman chose to spend his afternoon.
Fort Mackinaw, spelt the French way with a C, is the oldest building in Michigan, and it dates back to the 1880s.
We have already visited several forts from the time period, so we chose not to visit this one. Main Street is a more famous street. We're on Market Street right now. Much quieter, absolutely beautiful.
So much better.
So much better.
Market Street was filled with quaint inns and museums, like Biddle House, which contains a working blacksmith shop and has been in operation since 1885.
The Stewart House, which used to be called the Agent's House, is where people stayed when they were there for fur trading.
It was getting late, and places were closing, so we grabbed some world-famous fudge and ran for the ferry. So we're here in Mackinaw City, and this is the largest suspension bridge in the US.
What I love about it is this side here is Lake Huron, and on this side is Lake Michigan. So there's two of my Great Lakes to stick my big toe into, but it is freezing cold. So I'm just going to do a finger, and I'm not going to catch it on camera because I'm sure I'll be real girly about it.
It's going to be fun.
Bye. We're here outside of Hunt's Mackinaw Pasty and Cookie Company. Yay!
Yay! And we're going to try a Mackinaw City pasty. Not the real deal, which is a Cornish pasty, but we'll see.
This is the second one we've tried. He's on a taste test.
Yeah. Okay, so Hunt's Mackinaw City Pasty and Cookie Company. Best pasties in the world.
We really love the travel lifestyle. We have found so many treasures over the last 3.5 years.
One of the things that we love is watching the nation's farmers at work, planting, watering, harvesting, or preparing for storage. It's been fascinating.
We are a country that loves its machinery, even if it's for our own front yard. We got such a kick out of watching these boys on Lake Erie. It was wonderful to just kick back and relax. We stopped for a couple of days in Ohiopyle State Park. It was a lovely small lake.
We loved watching the fly fishermen casting out in desperate search for the big catch.
Another delight was our first encounter with a cardinal. I cast out a line of breadcrumbs to try and lure him closer to us. He eventually got there.
Only after this little rascal ate most of our bait.
We did have a terrible time with him trying to chase off his own reflection on our window. There must have been a nest somewhere. The thing I found interesting about Mackinac Island was the fort. You know me, I love history. And it was the French trappers that had come over from France, obviously, and they were trapping all the beavers. So there was a big fur trade. They came in and built a fort to make it a safe place to do business.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a commerce center.
So that's why we've got two different spellings for Mackinaw Island.
Right. What about you? What did you find interesting?
Well, not quite so historical, but very interesting. There's lots of horses on the island there. And inquiring minds need to know stuff. So I wondered, what do they do with all the horse poop? Well, these are good questions. Mm-hmm. Anyway, because there's a lot of horses. So I did ask, and somebody told me that it's actually used as part of the ecosystem. And what they do is they take all the horse poop and take it out into the forest, and then they mix it with the leaf droppings and different things, vegetation that's out there, and they create topsoil.
Wow. Because
Mackinaw Island is on a rock.
Huh.
And so they need that topsoil to hold the trees up, to keep the vegetation growing. Yeah. And so, hey, horses have other uses.
Yeah, one man's poop is another man's topsoil.
There you go. The fudge.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I'm not much of a fudge person, but that was terrific. And they're very famous.
They're world famous. They call it world famous fudge. And I do have to tell you, it was really good fudge.
Yeah. With the horses and the bikes, it's dodgy getting around town now, but it was just so good. And then we found this Jamaican restaurant.
Oh my gosh, passion of your life.
It was just fantastic food. Mm-hmm. And there are so many Jamaican nationals that live on the island.
All of Michigan, actually. They're all over Michigan.
Anyway, I did read a bit about the owner of the Kingston Kitchen, which is the name of that restaurant. And apparently he came as a summer worker and started this restaurant and then became a national, an American, brought his family. And there are other families that have done the same. So there's a year-round population of Jamaican Americans.
Wow.
You would think there was so much sunshine in Jamaica and so cold in Mackinaw Island that the two would not meet, you know. But
yeah. That's interesting because everybody I talked to said they were going home for the winter, that they didn't stay. So I actually didn't know there were people that stayed in the winter.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we got a half tank of gas. Stones are playing on the radio. 3-hour drive. Moving out. Hey, thanks for watching. And if you like our videos, please press the subscribe button.